Hey there, guys. TD Wells back with episode 3, day 3, and I'm excited to just hop right in. Again, founder of Wells Media AI. Would basically, I am sharing what exactly is needed and how you understand. And this is a question: do car dealers do they understand or don't they understand their demographics? And I've found, being in that space in that industry, that about 50% of them don't and 50% of them do. Now, I don't know what they do and how most dealerships actually function with their data. In this day and age, I will say that it's pretty much the same. And it's just an email, text, and a phone call, right? That's for the most part. Now, I know that there's some new strategies. Obviously, AI is definitely taking in and moving in that space where people can say that they're creating an appointment or they're going to bring in appointments or whatever. Right? There's a lot of open promises. So I want to share some things that I believe, and I'm talking about, like, this might appear to be rudimentary, right? But it really isn't. It's not rudimentary. It's really the basics for what every dealer needs. And I found that, again, about 70% of dealerships, independent franchises, are not even using any form of ads, multi-channel ads, like massive, like Google or Facebook, because they found it to be probably very expensive hiring an agency. So what I'm here to do today is I'm here to share some of the some of the things that you can implement. Very simple. If you have your own ad account, just if you don't, just create one. You just need a personal account to do that, and a fan page. That's it. It's so simple to create that piece. The complicated part, in my opinion, is understanding the demographics. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share this screen here, and I'm going to show you here that ultimately, and how I came to this conclusion. And remember, numbers don't lie, right? These are not manipulated numbers. These are actual numbers from Meta and inside of the Ads Manager account. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and select a car dealership. The last video I did, it was in Oklahoma City. I know nothing about Oklahoma. I don't know anything about car dealerships in Oklahoma. I just know about how to actually find the ideal client for car dealerships, or any business for that matter. But today we're focusing on car dealerships. So we're going to go ahead and use, for example, let's find, I'm going to go up and down the list here. This looks like we might have used them in the past. So we can focus on this one. Okay, we can use this car dealership, Jim Norton. Never heard of them. Don't don't know them. Don't know anything about this company. All right. So again, this is sheer. This is completely raw. I'm going to deny the targeting cookies. I don't know if it's really denied. But so what we're going to do here is, right, you can see that popped up over there. It's pretty good. Not a bad site. But I can go right to the bottom of the page, and I can almost assure you that they're using similar companies, right? There's probably a select few of web vendors that they can use, right? But that's not what we're here to talk about today. You can see that they actually have a drive 6 months no payment, which I'm sure that's something they came up with. I don't think the manufacturers will offer something like that, but I could be wrong. So this is the quickest way I can help you understand. So the demographic of someone is actually going to go, and they're going to click on a used car. I'm just going to use used cars for now. And let's just say we're trying to ultimately sell this car, this 15 Jeep Patriot, right? Now, it's very important to understand, what I'm going to go back to do is, when somebody is engaging, or they're very interested in this particular vehicle, we need to understand what the demographics are and who the demographics are to sell this car to. Now, I'm going to use a generic, well, it's not generic, it's actually a real ads manager for one of our dealerships that we work with. We're just not going to expose who that dealership is. However, what I will say is that these are all active ads, and we've got 10,000 reach and 21,000 impressions, which is actually pretty decent. If you do the calculations, as long as you're getting about 1,000 impressions over about 1,000 to 1,500 impressions over 7 days, and you're pretty good. You're pretty fine. Now, I just want to let you know, I've been advertising and marketing on all multi-channels for Google, for Bing, for all the major platforms for the last almost 6 years. So ultimately, what I'm sharing with you is how you can figure out how to sell each car. I've actually tried to implement these strategies with other dealers. And I get it, right? Most dealers are using V Auto, they're using Vin Solutions, eLeads, all of those different CRM platforms. And in actuality, they're not really converting. All they're doing is they're inputting the information based on the person that walked through the door or that particular demographic. Okay, they came in on a Hyundai, so now they have a list of people. But what we're doing is we're using actual meta to figure out how to retarget those people on a consistent basis. So as you can see, we have a group and we're using that particular car. Well, remember, we're using that Jeep Cherokee or whatever it was. And we're saying, okay, well, guess what? We realize that just from that specific, there's a specific strategy that you're going to use to market every car. Now, I get there are some programs out there that they target people by VIN, right? And you could do that as well. There's there's a way to do that inside of Meta. Okay, so with that being said, and when I say inside of Meta, I mean like there's things that we can actually build, push that inside of the ad manager account, and that will demonstrate demographics and help you understand who you need to be targeting at that point. And so if we go down the list here, we can see that there's 45, 55, 55, 60. So on that particular car, we know that there's only reached one person that was a female and they were 18 and 24. So we don't want to use that system. We want to use our own. We want to help understand that, man, we had 46 people, 46, we reached 46 people on that day that liked that car. There were 45 to 54. So now we're going to start to use that and measure and just focus on targeting that particular car to that age group. Very simple. So with that being said, I'm going to get right and straight to the point that ultimately these are credit apps. These are actual leads that came through the door that the dealer was able to do themselves and without having to hire someone else to basically own their data. That's what it really is about. That's why this strategy is a little bit different when we're using AI, because we're demonstrating and we're also understanding the demographics of what people are actually going after, which cars they're going after, right? It's very important. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to share with you ultimately this other tab. This is their lead center, right? And in that lead center, what we've got here is 269 leads, intake leads. It says in the last 7 days, it's down 7.14. We turned off one of their ads, but that's okay. It'll be back up again. But we could see that there's over 269 intake forms, leads that came through the door at the end of the day, that was less than 30 days. But if I go back to sharing this tab again, you just got to remember it's very simple. You just have to measure and track every car that comes through the door, so that way you can literally figure out, okay, these are the cars that we need to display, and we need to target slash retarget slash find a lookalike. And then there's other methods as well. But ultimately, your cars are going to sell a lot quicker, less probably in this day and age, especially now, we could get them to sell between 7 and 14 days. And I'm not making a claim that that's going to transpire. What I will say is that you will have full control of the data and the information that you're displaying on the daily basis. And every car that you get in, it's very simple. There are unique strategies that we help implement to plug in to get you in front of those people and also to get you to convert those individuals that are looking for that Toyota Corolla, that Toyota Camry, or RAV4, whatever car it is that you want to focus on. We would help you and assist you in doing exactly that. Pretty simple, and it's straightforward. Now, we ask if you did like what you saw here today, we just ask you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, our channel that will help you understand how to use and implement AI on a daily to not only find your prospects, but also to convert those individuals as well. Okay. So hopefully this has been helpful. It's a little bit of a shorter video today just because we're really focused in and honed in on the actual demographics of each specific car that you're looking and you're searching for. All right. Looking forward to hearing from you guys. Thanks.